Hi everyone. An item that I was expecting to come through eBay turned up today. It was a nice surprise. Arrived very quickly actually. At the time I bought it over here, so there was no extra cost as would have been if it had come from Australia. Okay, it is an Australian phone, and being over here, postage and that was quite reasonable, so it didn't cost an arm and a leg to get it. What interested me was the fact that it's got a little red indicator light. Never seen these before on these Aussie phones, so I thought, right, I'll get that. It's something to have a look at and work out what it does. It's exactly what I did. As I say, this phone just arrived today, so it hasn't been with me that long. In the case is a very handy, if I print it the right way round, diagram. Very basic diagram, but nevertheless a diagram. And it refers to the model number as 801802, being the model of this particular phone. And as I say, the little indicator terminated on the circuit board. I've taken it out for obvious reasons. I didn't want to break the wires as they went into the little bulb. I had no idea what this was actually for, but seeing where it was plugged into on the board would indicate to me that it would light up on ringing. To confirm this, I applied AC, a little magneto I've got, to the wires, and in fact it did glow. It's a neon lamp. Anyway, when I tried it out, wired it up, I think I wired it up right. There was one of their funny plugs on it, so it's a little bit of a bodge up, but I think I wired it right. It's white and red together and blue. Yes, it did work. I say the phone worked. The bell didn't work. It just ring tripped. Now, I've got two thoughts here. I've never known this before on some of these phones since I joined up with Virgin. It has occurred, so it looks to me like the Virgin is rather sensitive, and if the capacitor gets a little bit weak, if you like, it plays up. All the tests I made on it, the capacitor's perfectly all right, but this obviously didn't work. There's your bell circuit there. It's nicely, I say, laid out. It's rather untidily made, I thought, but nevertheless everything appears to be okay. Rewiring was a case of checking the diagram, which is a bit awkward. My eyes are not that good now. Getting older, I suppose. Have to accept that. And well, it's a bit disappointing. The actual line resistance, the bell resistance, is unusual. It's 1700 ohms. Whether incorporating a resistor in circuit with the bell, that might help it. It just seems to have enough to make it trip, and you get ring trip every time. Okay, it's not a problem. I would say I found out what that light was for. It was wired up. I've unplugged it at the moment. It goes to C1, which is on the base of there, C1, and B. There's B there with where the blue goes, and A. Have I got it right? I can't always see these. As I've always said, don't get old. Certain things seem to not work, and my eyes don't always work. That's A. The white wire goes to A, so that's your A and B line. As I say, some places it's A and B. In England, I think it was A and B. Line 1, line 2 is another system. But anyhow, it's all wired up correctly. This phone was made by AWA, which I think is Amalgamated Wireless of Australia. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like these phones were either made by AWA or TMC. Is it TMC? Get it right in a minute. On the, of course I get it wrong, don't I? It's STC. I should know because STC are over here. Standard telephones and cables. But the bulk of the bits are AWA, so I'm assuming this phone was made by AWA. I've got a pussycat that's come in. So here meowing, that's what it is. The dial is the dial which is an Aussie dial, or at least it's not the, it's an unusual one to me. I won't take the cover off, but there we are, that's what it looks like inside. Very basic, but obviously does the job. Clipped in by these two, which is very similar way of holding the dial in as the some of the other Spanish phones. So it's quite easy to remove the dial. Excuse the pussycat meowing, he's always after food. What else can I say? Yeah, the bells has a little adjuster from the base. The handset, I'm going to keep this video short because the cat's sort of playing up, which unfortunately is a blooming nuisance. She's due to go to the vets on Monday. I'm just hoping they don't find anything untoward, but you know, to say she is getting on a bit in years. So always expect the worst, which hopefully she'll be okay. But we'll wait and see. Anyhow, there's the actual circuit, the induction coil, the two capacitors. Someone's put a cross on there. It looks like these had actually been checked over by some other firm in Australia. But the phone works, as I say. The only thing that doesn't work is the bell, and obviously the little light doesn't work because, well, you don't get enough. The bell cuts off, so you don't get a way of testing it. But that was it. As I say, the transmitter is the top hat type. I won't take it out, but it's the top hat type. And the receiver is the same one that you would find on a 706. In fact, the receiver was made by STC. I'll turn it over and have a little look at the base. I'm going to say I'm a bit weary today. I'm a bit tired actually. There's the base, the label on there. So it's obviously a centre where these were checked over. Got various tests on there. Got a date there as well. Your adjuster for the bell. And that is more or less it. There's no name actually printed on here. It probably was a name at one time, which would have been AWA, but the name has gone. The age, I think the age could be 67. You've got on the printed board it's 67. You've got another stamp there, PWM 71. So it looks like this has been back and checked in 71. So it's seen a bit of repair, well, not so much repair as being checked over. The circuit board, unfortunately, is not very clean. So I suppose what I should do is take the board out, remove all the connections. If you ever do that, make sure you take a photo of which colours go to where. I know I've got the circuit diagram, but a good photo is worth its weight in gold. And also, as I've done there, the connections to that little neon bulb. So if I ever do decide to do it up further, which is a possibility, I'll have all the bits there. So for the purpose of the video, C1 and B go to the little neon bulb. Anyway, that is more or less all I can say about this. It's the second one of these phones that I've got. I haven't really looked at the other one. The other one also is an Aussie dial. I believe they did fit the dial 21 to these, but I'm rather glad this one was an Aussie dial, which it appears to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. Not going to put any more videos up today. I'm tired and weary. Once again, not much on the television. Just, then I mustn't mention that. I was going to say that the someone had put a load of yellow stuff on the match, the tennis. But it seems to be what happens now. The cover rare portraits do their worst at the Chelsea Flower Show. It's what happens, and hold the traffic up as well. Anyhow, I'm not going to start a rant. I'm not going to get on my soapbox. I'm just going to say, see you at the next video I put up. And yeah, if any questions, please ask. There's a member in Australia, Christopher, might put some comments about this. I have let him know about this little red light. I understand he hadn't come across this before. So it'll be interesting what he makes of this little phone. But there we are, an Australian phone bought in England at a sensible price, because if you get these off eBay and they're coming in from Australia, the postage and that is horrendous, and you don't want to pay. It has going the bells, two bells there, L and H, presumably low frequency and high frequency. Totally different to the bells on a 706, 747, so they are different. And my opinion of the phone, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's very untidy. The wires are just laid across. But there again, it's functional, does the job. And this phone I know works, with the exception of the bell, because I have rigged it up. But the fact that it seems to ring trip is a bit of a pain in the backside, but not to worry. I might, it might, when I do this up, is change that little neon. It's okay at the moment, but the wires on it are very brittle, so I might have to change that, which is not a problem. I can probably find a little tiny neon lamp to put in there. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Thanks again for watching. Any comments please make, and we'll see you again with another phone or another plant I might put up. I should really show that Fockia edulis. It's looking very nice now. It's got a good set of growth on it. Mind you, the seedlings, I don't know whether I'm even going to bother sowing more seedlings. I'm not having very good luck with those. Mind you, the weather has been very, very hot, so that might have affected it. But anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. Once again, thanks for watching. Thank you.